Speaking of AI, happy to bring on Mitch to talk about Millie.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Yes, let's talk about MeridianLink Intelligence, aka Millie. So for those of you who may have missed MeridianLink Live, like David was saying, we did put a big show on, demoing the capabilities of Millie. But I'm going to go over those here in detail for those who may have missed it, kind of recap its functionality, and then I'll talk about where we are and timelines and such. So first things first, yes, MeridianLink Intelligence, we're boiling it down and kindly calling it Millie, which is our family of agents that we are going to be building. That first agent that we are working on as we speak is the doc agent. So it's specific to aiding you in the collection of and processing of documents to and from your applicants. So it's really going to tackle 3 use cases. Use case number 1 hits the requesting piece, right? So what it's going to do is when your loan goes into underwriting and your underwriter makes all kinds of verbose conditions asking for, the firstborn child and the like, Millie's doc agent will automatically fetch those and translate them into document requests. And if you're using Mortgage Access with, one click of a button, all of those document requests that were pre-written will push into MA. MA will trigger the notification to the applicant for them to upload documents. If you're not using Mortgage Access, you'll still get that ability to translate all of those conditions into doc requests. You'll just have to manually copy them into your third-party point-of-sale system, which will handle the notification and upload piece from there. So now once your applicants have logged in and they upload a document, that document's going to pass into MeridianLink Mortgage's doc agent, and the doc agent's going to read it. And first thing it's going to do is doing, a pre-screen, a pre-check. We're looking for things like, is the document completed? Do I have all pages? Is it blurry? Is it recent, right? I asked for last month's pay stub. Did you give me last year's? And last but not least, is it relevant? If I am asking for a pay stub, did you give me a picture of your dog? So that's going to help you drive towards accepting or rejecting that document faster, right? Bring your eyes to where they need to go when reviewing them. And then last but very much not least is the extraction piece. So doc agent is going to review all of the data on that document, extract it out, compare it against application data, and present to you what matters most. So if I get, a hazard insurance policy, we can see the monthly amount and compare it against what was quoted inside of the app. And with a click of a button, your users will be able to update that value to match what is on the document. So what does that look like in reality? Here's kind of a screenshot. I'm sure it looks very tiny on your screen, but it's okay. I'll kind of walk you through. So this is that first use case, which is the translation piece. So each one of those big blobs that you see on the pop-up would be conditions. Like I said, very verbose. You definitely don't want your applicants reading a novel about what the heck they need to provide. So the doc agent grabbed those and automatically wrote them into a doc request, very clean, has your niceties, please provide, etc. They're automatically signed, doc types, as well as who do they go to. If you wanted to make some changes with what the doc agent wrote, you absolutely can do that. You can also rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, if you liked it or didn't like it. But once you're ready, you just click send, right? You click that bottom button, and then the doc agent will send all of those to Mortgage Access in one go. And like I said, if you're using a third-party point-of-sale system, there is a copy all button where it'll copy all of those doc requests into one big chain, and you'll be able to utilize them in the third-party system, and then you can click I'm done. Once that doc gets uploaded, right, here's that pre-check. So I mentioned those buckets of completeness, currency, and relevancy. So with each one of those, Doc Agent's going to be looking for specific points and have confidence thresholds of those points. And if the information that it has extracted is not meeting the confidence thresholds, it'll flag it, right? So it's being intelligently built such that, if I get a picture of a dog, obviously it's going to be rejected, big red X. But if it is a pay stub and maybe it cannot clearly define the pay period, it might mark it as a yellow, manual review required. Or if it likes everything it sees, it'll give a thumbs up and it'll say this is acceptable. But either way, it's trying to review it quickly and point to where you need to look in order for you to make the final decision faster. And then the extraction piece. All right. So like I mentioned before, it's going to pull the data off of those documents, compare it against the application data, and allow you to choose whether you want to keep the app data, use the doc data, or even type in whatever you want. So I know it's tiny font, but on the screenshot, it says the application, they put American A as their employer. The document says American Airlines. You can use that to type in. Or if you wanted to get fancy, you can literally type in American Airlines Incorporated. But it gives you that flexibility to do that while you're viewing the document. So no more is it that, I have to accept it, find it in the eDoc list, open it up, put it on this screen. Let me pull up the app on this screen, find the record, click the edit button, change the value, click save. No, now I'm looking at the document. I'm looking at the values extracted from Doc Agent. I pick what I want. I click go, updated. And that's the power of the Doc Agent that we've been working so hard on. So let's talk about timelines. So we are going to be doing some beta testing in our lower environment with some select lenders here in Q3. And then shortly thereafter, we're going to take that into production with an early access, once again, a select group of lenders that are going to be working very closely with myself, giving feedback as to what they like, they don't like, fixing any bugs that may or may not arise, but really dialing it in to make sure that the product is as clean and as viable as possible so that in Q4 we can announce it for everybody to consume. And then from there, it's working on the next agent, right? Talking about building a task agent that will interact with Doc Agent, be able to pass information back and forth, and really just start stacking those agentic capabilities to make sure that you guys are getting the most effective AI tool out there.